Have you ever wondered what it would be like to have supervision, enhanced hearing, extraordinary reflexes, to be, dare we say, superhuman? Well, Roku's new Pro Series TV can't do any of that for you. But with a 4K screen, side-firing speakers, and a blazing fast refresh rate, it'll sure feel like it. Elevate your entertainment using all your favorite apps like iHeart and play all your music, radio, and podcasts with the new Roku Pro Series. Your senses aren't better. Your TV is.
For some of us, personal finances aren't just personal. They include a lot more people than ourselves. Loved ones, neighbors, the communities we call home, and the causes we hold in our hearts. At Thrivent, we help plan your financial picture with the bigger picture in mind. Because even though our business is helping guide your finances, our ambition is to make it mean so much more. Thrivent, where money means more. Connect with us at Thrivent.com.
Deciding on what to listen to is hard. Using Zumo to stream music from iHeart 90s Radio is easy. Or play iHeart Country or Hip Hop Beats. Your choice, all for free. Stream easy with Zumo Play. Get live and on-demand entertainment with no logins, no signups, no accounts, no hassle. This April, binge these classics. The Whole Nine Yards starring Bruce Willis and Matthew Perry. Adaptation with Nicolas Cage and Meryl Streep. And The Fisher King with Robin Williams. All streaming free on Zumo Play. Go to play.zumo.com now. Life is hard. Zumo is easy.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app. It's Later with Mo Kelly. Isaiah Bradley, the forgotten Captain America, is finally brought into the light, only to be imprisoned once again after what seemed to be an attempt on the president's life, perpetrated by Bradley.
That's Isaiah Bradley.
The Isaiah Bradley. You brought me to the Forgotten Cap. Why didn't you say something?
It is a pleasure to meet you.
Your missions in Korea are legendary. And what? And after that, no action? I mean, a lot's changed in the world. We could have used another super soldier.
The United States government threw me in prison for 30 years. They experimented on me for decades.
Yikes, that sucks. Can we start?
Let's do it.
So sets the stage for Captain America Brave New World, now available on digital and 4K UHD Blu-ray. Isaiah Bradley is played by the iconic Carl Lumbly, who joins me now on the show. Carl Lumbly, an honor to privilege to have you on, sir. How are you?
I'm well, thank you, Mo Kelly.
Minneapolis, Minnesota, long way from Hollywood. Writer for the Associated Press, long way from Hollywood. Connect the dots for me from there and that job to Hollywood.
I followed my heart to San Francisco to get to Hollywood. I was in a relationship with someone who moved to San Francisco shortly after I had had a dabbling bit of work on an improvisational company theater, but I knew that wasn't it. So I was heading to San Francisco to be with her. And as it happened, my boss at AP had recently been transferred to San Francisco and told me that there would be an opportunity coming up in a couple of weeks if I could give him some time. And so I had love in my heart and potential work. And so I had to get a couch. And there was an ad in the newspaper. It was called the Performing Arts Column. That didn't exist in Minneapolis. And in that column, there was an ad that said, 2 black actors needed for South African political plays. I read the play, thought it was amazing, went to this theater, auditioned, and it was 2 people, a two-hander, and the other person was Danny Glover, and we began performing together, and we toured it in California, and we ended up in Los Angeles at one point and did it, and we got agents. And so I was a Los Angelino for about a year and then went to New York, where I thought, this is it. Stage mecca, workshops, plays constantly, lots to be read, lots to learn. And that was what I thought of as my academy until I got cast in something that brought me to Los Angeles. And it was a series called Cagney and Lacey. It was on for 6 episodes, and then it was taken off the air. I went back to New York with rent money, prepared to take on New York again. And there was a campaign that went on, so the Cagney and Lacey was put back on the air for a couple of shows. And it went on for 6 years. I actually met my wife on that show, and she did not want to move to New York, so I was back in Los Angeles, and that was that.
I go way back with you and your career. You're not new to the superhero genre. I'm talking about your time as Dr. Miles Hawkins, as Mantis. Some 30 years ago, we saw you as part of the Supergirl TV show. We heard you as part of the DC animated universe. Did you take anything specifically from your role as Dr. Miles Hawkins and put it into Isaiah Bradley?
Some of the life experience that I had while working on not only what was in the scripts, but just the actual idea of playing a character where certain people felt it was perhaps not appropriate or not believable. This character was wildly accomplished. He was brilliant. He had become injured, and he was living in a wheelchair, and he decided he wanted to do something about the crime and the area of violence in which he found himself. So he perfected this suit, which would allow him to get up and take part in stopping crime without taking life.
He's a brilliant scientist with a dream.
I want to walk again.
But what he becomes will defy imagination.
What are you, man?
From the writer of Batman and the director of Darkman.
Put all your money and jewels in the bag.
You won't win.
Comes a new breed of superhero.
Who are you? Call me the Mantis.
Mantis premieres.
And that was something that I leaned on quite a bit, because I think what happened with Isaiah was something was introduced into his system that gave him a tremendous amount of strength and capability. But the greatest control he had to have was his own mind and his own heart. And I think with everything that Isaiah went through, with the betrayal, with the experimentation, with being locked away, with not being recognized, nothing could assail that sense of himself and that sense of love that he had locked away in his heart. And that was embodied in Faith, his young wife who he left and never saw again. So the idea of wanting to do something to help and having some people believe you're the wrong messenger, there were similarities there that I think I could draw on in developing Isaiah.
How or when did you learn that Isaiah Bradley, first introduced in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, would have life on the big screen?
Just shortly before we started shooting. And it was a wonderful surprise. You know, I think there's always a possibility, and you hope that some of the things people tell you are true if they tell you that they enjoy what you did or that they think it was positive. But there's nothing that has to happen. So whatever does happen, I hold that as something I should be grateful for. And that's how I feel about Isaiah. Very grateful.
Isaiah?
Look at you.
This is, Sam. Sam, this is Isaiah. He was a hero. One of the ones that Hydra feared the most, like Steve. We met in 51.
If by met you mean I whooped your ass, then, yeah. We heard whispers he was on the peninsula. But everyone they sent after him never came back. So the U.S. military dropped me behind the line to go deal with him. I took half that metal arm in that fight in Goyang, but I see he's managed to grow it back. I just wanted to see if he got the arm back, or if he'd come to kill me.
Not a killer anymore.
You think you can wake up one day and decide who you want to be? It doesn't work like that. Well, maybe it does for folks like you.
We have to take a brief news break, and then on the other side, I'll continue my conversation with Carl Lumbly, who co-starred as Isaiah Bradley in Captain America Brave New World, which is now available on digital and 4K UHD Blu-ray. More with Carl Lumbly in...
What are you looking for in a new smart TV? 4K picture quality, high quality and immersive sound, a sleek design? All of those are givens, but only the new Roku Pro series has all of those and the Roku streaming experience, an award-winning OS. Get fast, easy access to all your apps like iHeart, where you can stream all your favorite music, radio, and podcasts all day, and regular all-inclusive trips to Roku City. The new Roku Pro series, a smart TV built by the streaming pros.
I'm Rodney Williams.
And I'm Travis Holloway. Welcome to the Wealth Break.
Let's be honest. Building wealth doesn't look the same for everyone. It's not just about saving, it's about investing. It's about navigating systems that weren't built for you, embracing your hustle, and relying on your community to create something bigger.
And that's exactly why we created the Wealth Break. We made something different, something more human. It's not just another financial podcast. It's a conversation about real life, real struggles, and real wins.
We're here to talk about the journey. You'll hear from people who've broken barriers, found creative ways to succeed, and learn to build wealth on their terms. Whether it's the first-time homeowner, a gig worker, or someone turning a side hustle into a six-figure business, we're bringing you their stories.
And we're not stopping at success stories. We're breaking down the realities, like what it means to take risks, how to navigate failure, and why resilience matters. Because wealth isn't about money. It's about creating a life where you can thrive and help others to do the same.
So if you're ready for a podcast as much as about people as it is about money, you're in the right place.
Listen to the Wealth Break podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
Deciding on what to listen to is hard. Using Zumo to stream music from iHeart 90s Radio is easy. Or play iHeart Country or Hip Hop Beats. Your choice, all for free. Stream easy with Zumo Play. Get live and on-demand entertainment with no logins, no signups, no accounts, no hassle. This April, binge these classics. The Whole 9 Yards starring Bruce Willis and Matthew Perry. Adaptation with Nicolas Cage and Meryl Streep. And The Fisher King with Robin Williams. All streaming free on Zumo Play. Go to play.zumo.com now. Life is hard. Zumo is easy.
Just a moment.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
It's Later with Mo Kelly, live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app and video simulcasting on YouTube. I'm in the middle of a conversation right now with Isaiah Bradley, the forgotten Captain America. You know him from Captain America, Brave New World. Carl Lumbly plays Isaiah Bradley, and Captain America, Brave New World is now available on digital and 4K UHD Blu-ray. And Carl, let's pick up there. Anthony Mackie not only played the role of Sam Wilson, Captain America, but was very direct, I would say almost breaking the fourth wall, talking about the burden that he, as a black Captain America, would have and juxtaposing it against the storyline of Isaiah Bradley and history's long refusal to acknowledge him. You kind of touched upon it. But talk to me about some of the conversations, if any, you had with Anthony about the nature of Isaiah's and Sam's relationship on screen.
In The Falcon and Winter Soldier, I think we covered a lot of ground in that initial meeting, in that initial moment in the house where both of us got a chance to be very honest with one another. Sam could say, you've got to understand how important your story is, and you've got to come out of hiding. And Isaiah could say, I don't know what you're doing, wanting to be Captain America. Why would you want to do that? Not simply because I know in my lived experiences that that was not America's desire, but also because there's the world that Isaiah knew well. It's a very, very different world from the world that Sam now lives in. And Sam has a kind of an agency, and Sam makes assumptions that Isaiah can barely conceive, that people can be trusted, that there are allies, that there are more people who are looking for connection than disconnection. He's had some bad experiences, and he also can't trust that what was done to him is not continuing. An experiment that locks you away, that fills you full of toxins and substances in an attempt to figure out why you haven't died yet. There's a lot to that. So whatever residual bits of that are left inside his system, his physical system and his psychological system, that's what he's dealing with. And Sam helps him be willing to step back into the world. That's a lot.
I'm not going to talk about it anymore. You know what they did to me for being a hero? They put my ass in jail for 30 years. People running tests, taking my blood, coming into my cell. Even your people weren't done with me.
Isaiah.
Get out of my house!
Let's go, man. Let's go.
Sam.
Why didn't you tell me about Isaiah? How could nobody bring him up? I asked you a question, Bucky.
I know.
Steve didn't know about him?
He didn't. I didn't tell him.
So you're telling me that there was a black super soldier decades ago and nobody knew about it?
I look at the character of Isaiah Bradley and I look at the man, Carl Lumbly. You have this habit of playing strong, confident African-American characters. And I assume that's by choice, not by chance. But was finding those types of roles a difficult search for you over the years?
To be honest, Mo Kelly, I think it's by choice chance or chance choice. Many of the things that I'm most happy about just came to me either by way of opportunity to audition or by an offer. And if they share certain similarities, maybe sometimes it's because if someone has seen you do something, they think of you doing that thing in their project, whatever it is. I consider myself strong enough. I think my strength lies in areas that when I was younger, I didn't think were particularly strong. You know, I've spoken with a number of nerds of color. And when I was growing up, yes, I was. But there weren't a whole, we didn't have a group. In fact, it seemed like part of your nerdhood was being on it by yourself. And it wasn't like people were, oh gosh, there's a nerd. Let's go hang out with him. So I spent a lot of time with books. I spent a lot of time by myself. I spent a lot of time developing my own sense of what I thought was important and my own notions about strength. Some had to do with being resilient. Some had to do with not letting people know how much something hurt or how much something mattered. So those kinds of techniques, I think, were survival techniques. I'm saying that looking back on them now, because I think that's where my strength comes from. I feel like the characters that I'm drawn to don't necessarily have an easy go, or they feel a need to be exemplary. They feel a need to show a way, and I'm happy walking that journey with them.
Carl Lumbly, my time is with you has just about run out. Just one last question, and it's a simple question, but maybe an impossible question. If Isaiah Bradley were to meet up with Steve Rogers, Captain America, one, what would he say? What would Isaiah say? And two, would he beat him in a fight?
He would say, I wish you hadn't been stuck in the Pacific. I wish you had been able to conduct the suicide mission that I did, which turned out not to be a suicide mission. And I have no desire to fight you. You and I both represent what should be the highest ideals for humankind and mankind, whether they live up to themselves or not. And so we have much more in common. Let's go have an espresso and talk about it.
Captain America, Brave New World, now available on digital and 4K UHD Blu-ray. Carl Lumbly, sir, once again, a pleasure to have you on. Thank you so much for your time this evening.
Oh, my pleasure, Mo Kelly. Take care, man.
It's later with Mo Kelly, KFI AM 640. We're live there.
Hello, iHeart listener. We have a confession to make. Both iHeart and this commercial you're listening to right now would probably sound a heck of a lot better on the new Roku Pro Series TV. It's got side-firing speakers that fill your room with sound, Dolby Atmos audio that puts you right in the middle of the entertainment, and the ability to pair seamlessly with your home theater sound systems that already have surround sound and booming bass. If all that sounds too good to be true, it'll sound even better on the new Roku Pro Series. Your hearing isn't better, your TV is.
I'm Rodney Williams.
And I'm Travis Holloway. Welcome to the Wealth Break.
Let's be honest, building wealth doesn't look the same for everyone. It's not just about saving, it's about investing. It's about navigating systems that weren't built for you, embracing your hustle, and relying on your community to create something bigger.
And that's exactly why we created the Wealth Break. We made something different, something more human. It's not just another financial podcast. It's a conversation about real life, real struggles, and real wins.
We're here to talk about the journey. You're hearing from people who've broken barriers, found creative ways to succeed, and learned to build wealth on their terms. Whether it's the first-time homeowner, a gig worker, or someone turning a side hustle into a six-figure business, we're bringing you their stories.
And we're not stopping at success stories. We're breaking down the realities, like what it means to take risk, how to navigate failure, and why resilience matters. Because wealth isn't about money. It's about creating a life where you can thrive and help others to do the same.
So if you're ready for a podcast as much as about people as it is about money, you're in the right place.
Listen to the Wealth Break podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
Deciding on what to listen to is hard. Using Zumo to stream music from iHeart 90s Radio is easy. Or play iHeart Country or Hip Hop Beats. Your choice, all for free. Stream easy with Zumo Play. Get live and on-demand entertainment with no logins, no signups, no accounts, no hassle. This April, binge these classics. The Whole Nine Yards starring Bruce Willis and Matthew Perry. Adaptation with Nicolas Cage and Meryl Streep. And The Fisher King with Robin Williams. All streaming free on Zumo Play. Go to play.zumo.com now. Life is hard. Zumo is easy.
Everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Now on Later with Mo Kelly, Mark talks about movies and TV, pontificates about pop culture. Rahner Report with Mark Rahner.
KFI AM 640. It's later with Mo Kelly. We're live on YouTube and also iHeartRadio. Mark Rahner with the Rahner Report.
All right, I'm not going to make you wait for it. Sinners is my favorite movie so far this year. Yeah, it's only April, but this one's going to be a tough one to beat. It's a terrific movie. It's a terrific vampire movie. It's a terrific period movie, and it's a terrific black movie. Here's a good bit of the trailer right here. It's long, but it's good.
We've been gone a long time. We back now. You twins? Nah, we cousins.
There are legends of people with the gift of making music so true. It can conjure spirits from the past and the future. This gift can bring fame and fortune.
Will somebody take me?
But it also can pierce the veil between life and death.
Listen here, this ain't no house party.
You want some?
You keep dancing with the devil.
Careful, boy. You gonna bite off more than you can chew.
One day he's gonna follow you home.
You got us a problem now.
What the hell going on?
Oh, we heard tale of a party. This world already left you for dead. I can save you from your fate.
You don't need no saving.
Yes, you do.
And you are?
I am. Your way out. Don't cry. It's all better now.
Yes, I lied to you. I don't believe in magic.
Ghosts, demons. Just power.
Somebody please take me.
We ain't gonna kill every last one of you.
Now, did I miss a bleep there? If so, lucky you if you're watching on the live stream. Sinners stars Michael B. Jordan and is directed and written by his frequent partner, Ryan Coogler. And right out of the gate, there's a gimmick that could have ground the whole thing to a shrieking halt and turned it into a joke. Jordan is playing twin brothers. And I kept waiting for that to get ridiculous, but it's played straight and it's seamless enough that eventually you just settle into it and stop looking for bloopers. It's the 1930s, and the brothers are some sort of former gangsters returning from Chicago to their really impoverished hometown in Mississippi, where a lot of their friends are still picking cotton, and the blues is their transcendent form of entertainment if they're not in church. And I mean transcendent in ways that I'm not going to spoil. The brothers are well-dressed, they're flush with cash and weapons, and they want to open their own juke joint. And it's lucky this is decades before Yelp, but also really extremely unlucky as well, vampire unlucky. They take their time getting there. The story's immersive in a way that reminded me of Black Panther, which is also a Coogler-Jordan deal. The brothers have to assemble a team first, just like in a Western or a superhero movie. And it's a great cast that includes some familiar faces and some new ones. The vampires are creepy, and they're led by a kind of a charismatic musical redneck who you heard in the trailer. It's also an R-rated movie with some grown-up content, and by that I mean dirty sex, which is refreshing. I keep wondering why American movies have gotten so puritanical, yet they show violence and gore that would gross out a coroner with no problem. About the only things I wasn't crazy about with Sinners, the dialogue was hard to understand pretty often due to what I guess was some sort of period authentic mumbling and slang. I'm going to be one of the geezers who watches it with the subtitles on when it's available at home, and I am going to watch it again. And it almost overstays its welcome. It's a good 2 hours and 17 minutes, and I think I could have trimmed that 17 pretty easily. But if you're going into this, you're going to leave feeling satisfied, and I think a little moved, too, especially by an epilogue you want to make sure that you stay for when the credits start rolling. I'm trying not to tell you too much. In fact, I would avoid the trailers for Sinners, too, because some of them give too much away. Now, I want to bring Tuwala into this. Tuwala, are you there? Did you like Sinners as much as I did?
I think I loved it more. I loved every single thing about this film from the beginning. Mm-hmm. This film is set in a point of time and in the South when my grandmother, not my great-grandmother, my grandmother was 10 years old in that same period in Texas. My grandmother used to tell me stories about my great-grandmother and sharecropping and farming and all that. So watching this film, it took me immediately to a place of stories that I grew up listening to and hearing my grandmother talk about. I know you and Foosh couldn't see it, but there was the point in time when the film came to an end and I did everything I could to hide my face in my sweater and cry. I went to my car and cried for a good 20 minutes after because of how deeply this film touched me. This film is transcendent on a whole bunch of different levels, beyond the good acting, beyond the good storyline, beyond the good action, the jump effects, jump scares when needs be. This film took me to a place that I didn't think it was actually going to. I didn't think the film was going to go that deep into this storyline and into this level of storytelling. And wow, it did. And it's haunting. It's very, very haunting in what it did for me. And you missed the second end credit scene, which is actually even more of a rewarding ending when you get to that second end credit.
So there's more?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. There's a second end credit scene.
Okay. You got to tell me about that off the air. I was moved by it as well. In fact, I think it's kind of an instant classic. That's the first thing I thought when I left there. It's also a great looking movie. And I mentioned that it was good on all sorts of fronts as a period movie and also as a black movie, but it also did not feel like a lecture ever. It was entertaining from start to finish. What do you think about that?
No, absolutely. There were several messages that I know were directly and pointedly for the African American audience without saying message, without trying to preach. There was a side of the South that they were trying to show. There's a side of the South that they were highlighting that I think more filmmakers, when they tell these stories, when they go into stories about the past involving African Americans, there is a type of story that Mo and I do not go and see. We do not participate with. We do not support. And those are N-word. You can't do that movies. And it is when you have a movie about, I don't care, a team of basketball players who are from a certain part of the town and could never play basketball, but they all come together and in the end they beat that team. And it's like, oh, I guess you N-words can do that. Be it pilots, be it debaters, be it swimmers, you name it. There are too many films that come out where they tell these stories, and it starts with us being this thing, this pejorative. And in the end, it's like, I guess we had you pejoratives all wrong.
Yeah. I used a term when you and I were just talking off the air the other day. We were talking about black movies, and I mentioned that I wasn't crazy about the kind that I think are just suffering porn. Does that make sense to you?
Yes. Too many of those that just absolutely suck. This film, instant classic. I mean, this is one I will watch again and again and again. It's got that level of talent behind it. It's going to be hard to beat that film this year.
Now, I haven't seen Fruitvale Station, but of all the Coogler movies that I have seen, I think this is the best. I think he's really come into his own as a filmmaker. And even the stuff that I wasn't crazy about, I wouldn't take out of the movie because that's his vision.
Yes. I took it all and said, you know what? He wanted to put this in for a minute. He wanted to stretch this scene out for a minute, which is why I need to go back and see it again. I understood all the dialogue. And I think it's maybe just because I'm more used to hearing that level of dialogue. And I was like, and then my mind thinking to myself, I wonder if everyone else knows what they're saying, because I know what they're saying.
Yeah, if I had a time machine and I was transported back to then, I would have been the guy going, huh?
Was it vernacular? Was it vernacular?
It was that and the delivery as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we both loved it. Foosh, I don't think you loved it quite as much, but
it was good. It's just I guess the way it was sold to me, I thought it was a little bit more like action filled a little bit. But I mean, yeah, you guys hit everything on the mark, especially the having trouble understanding them for a decent amount of the film. It was kind of hard.
Yeah, they immerse you in the world so that when the action finally does happen, it feels very earned to me, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah.
All right, well, there's your report. Mo, you got to see this. You should have been there.
I should have been there, but life was lifing and got in the way. But I'll try to see it this weekend. KFI AM 640. We're live on YouTube and the iHeartRadio app.
We go through all the that's going on so that we can tell you just the you need to know.
KFI
and KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
For some of us, personal finances aren't just personal. They include a lot more people than ourselves. Loved ones, neighbors, the communities we call home, and the causes we hold in our hearts. At Thrivent, we help plan your financial picture with the bigger picture in mind. Because even though our business is helping guide your finances, our ambition is to make it mean so much more. Thrivent, where money means more. Connect with us at Thrivent.com.
Hello, iHeart listener. We have a confession to make. Both iHeart and this commercial you're listening to right now would probably sound a heck of a lot better on the new Roku Pro Series TV. It's got side-firing speakers that fill your room with sound, Dolby Atmos audio that puts you right in the middle of the entertainment, and the ability to pair seamlessly with your home theater sound systems that already have surround sound and booming bass. If all that sounds too good to be true, it'll sound even better on the new Roku Pro Series. Your hearing isn't better, your TV is.
Deciding on what to listen to is hard. Using Zumo to stream music from iHeart 90s Radio is easy. Or play iHeart Country or Hip Hop Beats. Your choice, all for free. Stream easy with Zumo Play. Get live and on-demand entertainment with no logins, no signups, no accounts, no hassle. This April, binge these classics. The Whole 9 Yards starring Bruce Willis and Matthew Perry. Adaptation with Nicolas Cage and Meryl Streep. And The Fisher King with Robin Williams. All streaming free on Zumo Play. Go to play.zumo.com now. Life is hard. Zumo is easy.